Hey everybody, it's me, Daryl Girardier, and today we're going to do a book review of this book right here, Deep Work by author Cal Newport. So here we go. This is a book actually I read with our team. Deep Work is a book that's written by a professor from, I believe, the University of Georgetown, who's a computer science professor. It's a book that I felt compelled to take our team through after I did a reading of it. And I thought, you know what, this would be a good book to take the entire team through. Because the book's premise, if you will, for Deep Work is the idea that we don't really do enough deep work, enough deep thinking, enough deep work, if you will. And we're too caught into these small, shallow tasks. Now, I wanted the team to read it because I wanted them to kind of get the idea that, like, are they focusing on the shallow work? Are they focused on the really deep, hard work, the deep thinking that needs to be done? So in the book, Cal lays out a whole bunch of different methodologies, a whole bunch of different ideas on how do you actually achieve what's known as quote unquote deep work. And those things are such as, getting away from collaborative workspaces, getting away from, places where you get distracted, cutting down distractions, emails, social media, all that kind of stuff, and really blocking off some time to do some really hard, deep work. So I really thought, for me personally, the moment I saw it, I was like, yes, this really speaks to me. So I talked my team through it. Now, this is interesting. This is the first time I think I've ever read a book where I liked the book the first time I read it, but didn't like it the second time I went through it. And since that I didn't like it, the more I read it within a group of a community of people, the more I saw the flaws in the book. Now, that's to say it's not a bad book. It's a great book. Especially it's a really good book if you're a person who feels like your work is out of control and you want to focus on the big, larger things that are important to you, the big, hard problems that you want to solve. But you also have control of your schedule. You also have the ability to block off those times and do this type of things where you feel like you've got a lot of ability to do those things. If you're one of those people that are kind of like, I don't feel like I've got a lot of control over my schedule, a lot of things are dictated to me, you may be in a spot where that's just the nature of your work, this book is going to frustrate you a lot. It's going to frustrate you in the sense that he's going to recommend a lot of things that you probably aren't going to think are not doable. Now, I'm going to argue that a lot of those things are doable, but the reality of it is that and for some of us, it's really difficult to pull off. And his methodology, again, it's stuff like, okay, get away from collaborative workspace. I want you to get into spaces where you can do long, deep thinking of an hour and a half of just really hard thinking about the big major problems you've got. I want you to stop using social media as much as possible. Stop checking your email throughout the day. All those things that I think make a lot of sense for a lot of people. Now, us being in church communications, that doesn't always pan out well. So that, again, is probably one of the flaws in the book, is the fact that, he's asking you to do something, to be honest with you feel like it's part of your job to do. So I tried this for a couple of weeks where I laid off social media for a while, checked my email like once or twice a day, and spent large chunks of time focusing on big things. And I will tell you, the results were really astounding. Like, I was really surprised about the big thinking, larger pictures thinking I was able to do. And I was able to come up with some mental models from some stuff that I've been trying to solve with our pastor. And I was really okay, wow, I had some really huge breakthroughs on this. The downside was that there's this whole other world that I honestly kind of put off. And I kind of came back to bite me a little bit. So I think there's a lot of good you can get from this book in terms of how he addresses it and why he addresses those things. I think there's just a really good balance for that. This book is going to be great if you're an introvert and you want somebody affirming your introvertedness. This book is going to be great. If you're an extrovert, you're going to hate this book. You're going to be like, this book wants me to just kind of get off and be by myself, and you want to collaborate, you want to be with team members, and it's kind of like, no, you need to focus hard and do quote unquote deep work, the deep hard work that needs to be done. So I give this book a mixed review. I would tell you it's probably a good read if you're somebody who's looking for a book that kind of help you understand how to do deep, hard work and do the work that's like really big thinking. But if you're a person who's like constantly on the go and extroverted, wants to be around people, is probably living on Facebook 24/7, this book is probably not going to be for you. In fact, you'd probably be offended by some of the things they do. And I would say, again, I think one of the faults in this book is this book is not really great for every universal person out there who's doing work. It really applies to, probably professors and that kind of stuff, but also people that have the ability to kind of control their schedule and are asked to do larger, big picture thinking. So I would give the book, say like a B minus, C plus for my team. Personally, I liked it a lot, but after the second time I read it with the team, it didn't feel that great. So this is not a wholehearted recommendation to go read it, but I think for some of y'all, it may be worth your while. For some of you, you can go ahead and pass and skip it. So that's our review of the book, Deep Work. Thanks. Bye.